Alright, welcome back to Emmy Reviews. This is my next review for 3,000 Years of Longing. This is directed by George Miller, starring Tilda Swinton, Idris Elba, and a host of other unknowns that I didn't really recognize myself. This is actually written by George Miller. It is adapted by a novel, The Djinn and the Nightingale's Eye. This film is a bit interesting, it's different, it's risky. A brief synopsis I'll give you here. A lonely scholar on a trip to Istanbul discovers a djinn who offers her 3 wishes in exchange for his freedom. Thinking that he may be untrustworthy, she asks him to tell her how he came about to be imprisoned for such a long time. Kind of a bit of a paraphrasing of the IMDb synopsis, because I don't think it really sold what this film is going to be going in, considering it's a bit of a vignette, short stories inside this overarching tale. George Miller, man, this is such an unsung hero of cinema. I really feel like that he hasn't got the credit he deserves for his actual filmography. This guy has been all over the shop, like with works like the Happy Feet films, you know, with the penguin and everything. Babe, a Pig in the City, The Witches of Eastwick, and most popularly he's known for the Mad Max films, including the upcoming Furiosa movie with Charlize Theron again, and then there's also another untitled Mad Max film coming out soon, so I'm wondering what that is. By the way, I haven't heard of The Witches of Eastwick in ages, and I absolutely love that movie. It's such a bonkers movie and borderline horrifying. So it should be obvious that you can't really pin this director down to any particular niche. Miller's work is essentially the antithesis to Michael Bay, you know, like whose work has become known as Bayhem because of his wild action scenes and car porn, I guess. Bay can capture such insane action, but that's really the majority of what he does. He does comedy and chaos. Miller's work is normally fantastic. This one has a bit of an indie sheen to it. It's a bit unexpected. It was about $60 million to make this film. In comparison to Furio, it's a paltry amount. It's just a tiny amount. But you can definitely see that this is not on the same level. This is definitely a lot different, and it's interesting. It is pretty interesting to me. Even so, the film has not performed very well, and so far it's only really made like a third of the money back. But it is fun. It's another exciting experiment into non-conventional filmmaking, which I'm always happy to try out this kind of stuff. It is a risk though. It is you can't expect to go into watching something like this and actually be pleased every time. That's the risk you take. The 2 things that let this film down, I feel, are the VFX, which most of the time are wild and incredible, and the seemingly aimless themes of the story. It's sort of this idea that we're, buying back into mysticism, that we've lost an understanding of the way that things used to be, the mystery and the wonder of things, as opposed to the wonder of what we don't know, of what we're trying to know through science. But I don't think it really makes a strong case for either the rationale or the supernatural. What I do like that it highlights is that even though science is incredibly rigorous and powerful, history has mostly been written by the winners. And it would be no surprise to me if we got a lot of the context wrong. That it was definitely lost in translation about who certain people were, how certain people acted like, and a lot of that would have a huge impact on how we see who we are and where we've come from. Instead of the story really being about mysticism and wonder in that way, it's more about connection and the importance of love and the risks that it entails. Idris Elba and Tilda Swinton, 2 of my favorite actors, easily. Tilda especially. Tilda once played 3 roles in that remake of Suspiria, that horror movie that's just dark as fuck, just really wild and interesting. Great filmmaking. I would highly recommend that to anyone who wants to be disturbed. But it's fantastic. There are so many elements here that would contribute to an engaging and successful film. We've got great actors, we've got a great writer-director, it's got a literary basis. I just feel like the vision on the storyboard doesn't match up with what we got with the film in the end. Even though a lot of it looks really cool and interesting, and a lot of what happens is stuff that you just normally would never see in a film. Even that aside, I did enjoy watching the film, thanks to my fondness to the actors and the visual effects mostly. But if you're someone who can't deal with ambiguity or the possibility that you're going to be watching a tale without an aim, this isn't for you. I wouldn't want to recommend this to people because it's highly likely that they're not going to come out of it happy, generally, because the layman needs focus and things to be completely explained to them so that they can have some sense of catharsis coming out. And that's fine, that's good, I guess, but take a chance. It is a critical miss for me, even though I think there's a lot here worth watching. If not, reading the novel by A.S. Byatt, it would be a good idea instead. It still has my mind geared around what it was trying to say, so that is important, and that is powerful. Though any film that centers on trying to revive mysticism as a reality does get me pretty riled up. What did you think when you saw it? Is Robin Williams still the best genie of all time? I think so. Easily, Robin Williams is the only genie for me. But I'd say Idris Elba could be the best genie portrayed by a black person. With a subtle dig there to Will Smith, or maybe Shaq. Yeah, Shaq was a genie once. That was rubbish. Anyway, rack it up in the comments. Let me know what you thought. Let me know what else you're watching at the moment. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for subscribing for those who have. I've been Fletcher. Thanks for the likes. Love to the subs. And I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.